What's up, guys? How you doing? This is Micah Dobbins, host of the Micah Dobbins Show, powered by Misfits of Media. And today I have two wonderful guests, Jay and Rasha, who are going to talk about their business. And I can't wait for you guys to check out this episode of the Micah Dobbins Show. What's up, guys? Glad you're here. Thank you for tuning in. And we have a great show planned for you today. We want you to visit the website, www.themicahdobbinsshow.com, so you can sign up for my monthly newsletter. You can also find me on all of your social media sites and podcasts. And you can get all of the information about my whereabouts as far as the different events and follow me on social media at that website there. So we're going to go ahead and move into the show. We have some awesome guests that are here today. I want to introduce to you Jay and Rasha, and they are here. Hey, how you guys doing?
Hey, how are you?
What's going on? How you doing?
Doing great, doing great. Glad you guys are here, man. I really appreciate you even taking the time out your busy schedule to come on to the show. It means a lot to me, seriously.
Well, thanks for having us.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
All right. So I know we have a lot to unpack today, and we're going to talk about, even our connections and history and things, but I want to stick with the flow of the show because I know that when people see the flyer and they see major movements, logistics, they're gonna really want to know more info. So how did you come up with the name of the company, and where are you guys located out of?
Well, we're actually located out of Houston, Texas.
All right.
So, yeah, we've been in this area for about 9 years now?
Mm-hmm.
About 9 years. So, and as far as coming up with the name, man, we just came up with major movement just because of the fact that it's like, when you think about shipping, logistics, and those type of things, you're moving freight.
True.
That's what you're doing. So we wanted to make sure we're doing some major movement out there.
All right.
So, that's pretty much the gist of how we came up with the name for it.
Okay, that's awesome. I like that. And I mean, you made a valid point because if you're in logistics, you got to move freight. You got to move freight, and making major moves is always definitely a good thing. So Houston, Texas. All right. Shout out to the Houston crew out there. Now, I noticed you're actually rocking a Saints shirt, which the people in Atlanta, they have an issue, but I'm good. I'm not going to trip. Now, my brothers from We That Sports might have something to say, but you good with us, Jay.
Hey, it's all good. It's all good, man. It's all good.
Are you
gotta rock the Saints though, because I'm from Louisiana, so I gotta represent the hometown.
That's what's up. I was gonna ask that. Okay, represent. Okay, for the Saints. I got you. And y'all from Atlanta, y'all don't give us no hate now. You're gonna have to show love because this is all business. We making moves here. All right, we appreciate that. And Rasha, go ahead and tell the people where you're from as well.
Sure. Well, I was born, partially raised in Chicago, moved to Atlanta, went through middle school, high school there. Moved to DC area and New York, came back to Atlanta.
All right.
Moved back to Chicago, and now we made it to Houston. So, I mean, basically, yes, I was born and raised in Chicago, but I have influences from everywhere. That's what I like to say.
That's what's up. You get around like a military brat. I'm talking about all over. I ain't mad at it. Look, shout out to my family in Chicago. I got family in DC. All of y'all showing love. And shout out to everybody in New Orleans right now. We know that they've had a lot of tragedy with hurricanes through there. So we want to show our love and solidarity with the people struggling there, definitely. So that is awesome. Man, I'm glad to hear that because, a lot of times people that I've met in the past have stayed in like one location all their life. So they never get to experience meeting different people or experiencing different cultures. And with you guys traveling so much, you've been able to engage in various things that, some people aren't privy to because they may just been raised, be it in like Alabama or raised in just Tennessee somewhere and they never left the state. So it's awesome. Kudos for your travels because that's very important. Now, let me ask you, why logistics? Like what would make you interested, I guess, in that particular industry?
Well, as far as that, I have a background in logistics. I'm former military, straight out of high school. I went into the military, into the Marine Corps. And my job in there actually was motor T. It was motor transport. So I drove, like Humvees, what they call 5 tons, different equipment. So I was an operator. So that kind of transitioned over into, the real world after I got out.
Yeah.
And so for the past, 20, 20 something years, 25 years off and on, I've always been in logistics.
Right.
So that kind of transferred. And so most recently, prior to us starting up Major Movement Logistics, I was actually driving in Houston for a local company.
Okay.
And I worked for them for about this past 6 years, and driving tractor trailers. And so we just kind of kept with the flow. So it was something that we were familiar with. And it's an industry that never stops.
Sure.
If you think about it, anything that you've got in your house or anything you see on the shelves in the store or wherever you're at some point it was on a truck.
Yes.
So, the trucking industry makes things move, in the US here. So things are constantly moving, and it doesn't stop.
That's right. No, you're right. I mean, it's everything you buy from the store. I mean, I don't care if you're getting toothpaste, if you're getting, groceries, it's coming by way of a truck through logistics. You are right. I mean, that is the backbone right now of our shopping. Now, I got to pause for a minute because I didn't know this, y'all. Yo, I did not know that you had served. Much props to you for that, man. Salute you. I am big on military. I know a lot of family of mine that have served. So when you said Marine Corps Semper Fi, I'm like, that's what's up, bro. I did not know that. that's what's up. My family go crazy when they see that. Both my grandfathers and my dad, et cetera, cousins, all military. So I definitely give honor to those that served, and appreciate you for your service. Seriously, man. That's awesome. I'm for real. That just made my day there. All right. I'm for real. I'm very patriotic when it comes to those things. Okay. Yes, man. That just threw me right there. I'm going to be honest. I'm happy about that one. All right. So prior to that, you shared your experience. So we got an idea that you were already familiar, with driving. And for those who don't know, the Humvees that he mentioned, I'm hoping most of y'all should know by now. But your civilian world, they drive those Hummers. But we used to grow up seeing them on the Army base. Like, that was a military thing. When I was a kid, they would do like the Army shows, and they would have them things going over dunes and stuff, and we'd be like, whoa, because it was like a Hulk compared to I think when I was like younger, everybody loved the A-Team. So you had the A-Team van. But when you saw a Hummer on an Army base, man, it dwarfed that A-Team van, the width of it and the tire size, and we were like, that is a monster. And it wasn't until like the 90s that I started seeing people driving them on the street. Like, they were tricked out with rims and stuff. And I'm like, that's the Hummers. Like, them the Humvees, And it became a big thing for the rappers. Like, now they got like platinum Hummers or something crazy. But no, that's what's up. I had no idea, bro. That's all right there. I ain't mad at that. Cool. So let me ask you guys, I do a thing called Free Game Fridays, where I give people information to try to help them in different industries or businesses that they may try. And I have a philosophy that even if you share good information, now I don't have a statistic to throw, but I'm just going to throw one out there that mentally I would think, and I don't do this often, but I'm going to say, I would estimate out of 100 people you share some information with, maybe like 10 are even going to try it. You know what I mean? Because most of them are going to say, oh, that sounds great, but it's too hard. No, I don't have this, I don't have that. They're going to talk themselves out of it before they start. So us sharing information and empowering people doesn't hinder us. It increases competition to some degree, but it also, keeps us innovative and sharp on our game. So I wanted to lead into that and just ask, like, what kind of steps would a person have to take if they wanted to get like a logistics business such as yours?
Okay, well, excuse me, I'll take that question.
Okay.
Just so we're clear, like the business that we own, it started out as a dispatch company.
Okay.
So meaning that we were basically working closely with carriers, or owner operators, to find them loads. But then we moved into working with a freight brokerage, and we owned a freight agency. So we partner with a freight brokerage, and we kind of under their umbrella. They hold the insurances. They hold, basically the liability, the licenses. They supply us with the platforms that we need in order to now basically our main customer is the shipper. And then now we're basically finding the carriers. So we kind of flip-flop. But it's under the same, arena of logistics. So I would say, like, basically, if you're looking to get into logistics, kind of pinpoint the area you want to be in, whether it be you want to be an owner operator, or whether it be that you want to do dispatch, or you want to do, freight brokering, or you can do all of the above. I think that's really a great concept to understand, that you don't have to just limit yourself, but I would say start with one. Because if you get into it and you're trying to do too much, you're not going to accomplish what you want to accomplish. So focus on the one and then move into the other areas. But for us, the reason why the freight brokering works, one, in our experience,
all right,
it was a little harder, especially because we started this business right at the COVID, basically, starting and everything shutting down. So for dispatch, it kind of was like, oh my gosh, where are we going to find the loads? The loads are not paying what these drivers want. And so then we were like, well, freight brokerage for us meant a little more, it was a little more higher dollar.
More lucrative.
More lucrative, thank you. That's what I'm trying to say. Yes. More lucrative. So it was like we switched over to that. Both of these we can do from anywhere, but for freight dispatch, we took a course. Just basically it teaches you the basics of logistics, because you want to be familiar with the terms. You want to be familiar with the type of trucks that are out there. Right. You want to be familiar with things that can be transported across country in your local area. Yes. Because you're building up your database of, hey, I know that let me call this, shipper, let me call this carrier, to get this freight moved. Freight brokering, basically we took a course for that as well, because even though we're familiar with logistics, Jay being in logistics himself and taking a dispatch course, there are still things that we did not know about freight brokering. So you have to educate yourself on all levels. Don't just go into it with, no type of education behind what you're doing. Okay. So freight brokering, if you want to own your own freight brokerage, you can also do that as well. Jay and I chose the route of freight agency, basically because we didn't want to have to get the licenses. We didn't want to have to get the security, the surety bond, which is required if you are a freight brokerage. We didn't want to have to carry the licensing, the errors and omissions insurance. We didn't want to have to be responsible, basically, if something just went completely wrong, because our brokerage supports us on that. Okay. But if you are looking to become a freight broker, take a course, understand what's behind that. And all these things, the common ground is take a course.
Yes, I see.
and you definitely have to start an LLC, right? Because, some people just think, oh, I'm just going to start a business. I'm not going to have any legalities behind it. An LLC, a limited liability corporation, it protects you as the individual, because it separates you from your business. Right. So if someone ever did come after you, of course, that would be an unfortunate situation for anybody, but it will not attack your personal assets, your home, your car, your personal bank account. It would, you would have to basically pay out of the business. Yes. So definitely have that, set up as well. Before you purchase anything, I say even before you purchase a course, make sure you have an LLC, because you can write that off, right? Tax write-off. So have the LLC set up, find a great course, do your due diligence on finding a course that's going to work. Someone that has been doing, and not just, your brother, sister, cousin found out about somebody.
Right.
Actually do your due diligence, do your own research, and find out it's a reputable company or person that's offering the course.
True.
What are their success stories? Do they have any success stories? Call those people. The courses that we took, we had people, calling and saying, hey, this person, said that you took their course, you were successful. We want to hear more. So, that's what's basically.
That's awesome. No, that advice right there was solid. And if you guys didn't pick up on that, y'all are missing out now. That was free game. She just told you about the LLC, how to get it set up. If you need to get it, definitely you could use it as a tax write-off for your course training. The difference now between being a freight broker. So if you're watching this right now and you're getting this information, you definitely need to go ahead and comment and thank Jay and Rasha for sharing that with you. And, check out everything they have going on with Major Movement Logistics and all they're doing, because they definitely have brought out a lot of hot points just now. What's up, guys? How you doing? This is Micah Dobbins, host of the Micah Dobbins Show, and I want to take this time to personally thank one of my sponsors, Real Life Snacks. When you see me out and about and I'm wearing the stylish masks during the pandemic, Real Life Snacks are who are supplying the masks for the Micah Dobbins Show. They have items that'll ship the same day as long as you order by 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and you can visit their website, www.reallifesnacks.com, official sponsor of the Micah Dobbins Show. And I'm going to ask some more questions, but just kind of bouncing off of what you were just sharing, it makes sense for somebody even entering into an industry to definitely get educated on it. So I'm glad you shared that with them. Like, if you have to take a course, and then the beauty of it is, you said, a reputable course. Like, don't just go grab the first guy that pops up on YouTube and says, hey, do you want to learn how to broker freight? And then they rent these, and do all this big stuff. Get somebody who knows the industry that's doing it, and they can really put you in a position to help your family get financial freedom and things like that. That right there is it, And I mentioned financial freedom. Since I mentioned, I might as well pivot on to this. How has your work life been? Being a married couple and having children, and then being business owner. Like, how has that work life been for you guys?
It's been, it's been awesome, actually.
Cool.
I really look at it, and I've told Rasha before, like, I look back on it and I'm like, why didn't I get into this sooner? Because I've always been an employee. Right. And, and I think that's the common theme that's actually taught to us from when we're kids. Right. Is to, you go to school, you go to college, you get a job, to pay back the loans you just got to go to school, So, but the thing is, being a business owner, and then getting into the realm of being an entrepreneur, actually, and having passive income and those type of things, that's something that needs, I think we need more of,
Yes.
And I just think it's just a great situation. We've enjoyed it. I really enjoy it because now I don't have to be on somebody else's time clock.
Right.
I don't have to put in for vacation if I want to go on vacation, or see if I have enough vacation days, or whatever it might be. Yes. So it's a great experience, and we work good together, and so with anything you have to find that balance. True. And we've been fortunate enough to find that balance of, okay, we work from home. So, that's great in itself. And then we have the freedom, the time, the flexibility to schedule and do other things we need to do. So if one of our kids has something going on at the school, okay, we can go to that. Or they need to be taken over here to do that, we can do that. Or, hey, you got a doctor's appointment, or you have a meeting, or whatever it might be. So right. It's just a lot of freedom and flexibility, and it's been great for us.
And if I may add, it's also important to carve out that time specifically for yourself, a couple, yourself as a couple, and then also as a family. Jay and I, now sometimes, I'm going to be honest, sometimes it is a challenge, to find that time, because you're trying to do so many things. You want your business to be successful so it can help you achieve whatever the goals you're trying to reach. So, my suggestion, my advice would be, make sure you plan out time as a couple, set aside, whether it's that time every single day or a specific day of the week where you're doing a date night, or you're just unwinding with each other, yes. Whether it be watching TV, whether it be just having a conversation. And you do have to cut off work, because a lot of times you'll find yourself around the clock talking about work. So you have to find that time to say, okay, we've talked about it enough. Right. Let's just shut that off for now. There's nothing more that, needs to be done or said at this point about that. So let's just shut that off. Let's concentrate and focus on each other. Yep. And then as far as the kids, for in our lives, we've started now playing like board games with the kids, which they really enjoy. Awesome. We've done Yahtzee.
Oh, they love some Yahtzee. They tearing us up.
Yeah, we play the game Life. We've also got Monopoly recently, so we'll be digging into that soon. So those are things how we try to keep balance.
That is awesome. No, I'm glad to hear that. And you touched on some vital areas. That one thing that you said about spending time with the kids, having that freedom to do, as Jay mentioned, and even as you mentioned with like board games and stuff. And I found that to be one of the most rewarding things when I began to work for myself. That was one of the primary reasons I wanted to leave the clock as well, Jay. I had a situation where I was working 6 days a week, and both of my sons signed up to play baseball. And I was like, okay, I work every Saturday. Like, how am I going to be able to go to these games? And then the games are at different times. And I was able, once I started my business and left, to be at all of their games except for one. They played at the same time, and me and the family had to split up 2 different ways. But I got to go to all of their baseball games, and that meant a lot, So I can relate to you there, that you want to be able to go to your kids' events and do things. And many people become a slave to their business, almost like they're working so much. And as a business owner, it is rough because you are around the clock. You know, you have to worry about everything. You know, everybody else may have the benefit of knowing that, oh, the company's gonna get my paycheck and I'll call HR if they get it wrong. But as the business owner, it's like, no, I gotta call and make sure these people are paying me and depositing, right? Yeah. So it's a whole nother monster. And then Rasha, you brought out something that I found very important, especially in today's time. Bringing like the board games and having that family circle and then having that relationship time for you guys, like the date nights and things like that. I slack in that area sometimes. Micah can attest. I be like, yo, we ain't been out in a minute, you know, just working and the kids, and she's always doing. So, but when we do get a chance, you know, we try to do a getaway. And it is very important to have that kind of time because you'll be working together, but you kind of start detaching because it's like, I'm on this, well, I'm on payroll, well, I'm on, you know, marketing. And before long, you're looking like, who is this person across the table from me that I eat breakfast with and lay with every night? Like, you know, you become total strangers. So I think it's solid that you're giving people that kind of great advice. Like, hey, you know, keep the relationship fresh, spontaneous, surprise each other, spend time with the kids. I've learned that having friends that may have grown up, I guess, privileged, a lot of them had resentment or bitterness despite their family success because they never really got to sit down and have a meal together. And that's stuff that we took for granted growing up. Like, I'm looking like, man, your mom and them don't make you sit down and eat with them and you better finish everything on your plate. You know, I ate in my bedroom. What? Your bedroom? No. You sitting at the dinner table at my mom and them crib. So like, you know, just to have that in your family is a legacy that you'll pass on to your children. And I thank God for you guys even sharing that because that's dope right there. All right. So I know I got to ask some more questions, but I'm having such fun with the interview. You know, don't ever want it to end anyway. We'll keep going. So we'll roll into the next. What's up, guys? How you doing? This is Micah Dobbins, host of the Micah Dobbins Show, and this show is brought to you by none other than Tees of Faith 316. When I go out and about sometimes and I'm rocking my Teens of Faith gear, people usually read the statements on my shirts and ask me, where did I get them from? So now you guys too can order your own shirts from Tees of Faith, even the official clothing of the Micah Dobbins Show. This right now is one of my favorite hoodies, Thou Shalt Not Steal, still relevant, representing for Tees of Faith 316. How can our viewers, if they decide that, you know, hey, you know, I want to connect with Major Movement Logistics, I'm a driver, I'm an owner operator or something, what are some ways they can reach out and contact you guys?
Well, the easiest way would just be to email us. You know, my email is jay@majormovementlogistics.com. And then Rasha's is RASHA, Rasha @majormovementlogistics.com. Right. So I mean, you can just email us as the easiest form of getting in contact with us because we're, you know, eyes are on that email every single day. So if you need to get in contact with us, you can definitely contact us through email. Okay. So if what's that?
And we have other platforms as well.
Yeah, we have other platforms as well. I mean, you can find us on Instagram also. You know, Major Movement Logistics on Instagram. I'm on there, but I mean, it's not really a whole lot, you know, but just keeping like a presence on there. And we do have a website, you know, www.majormovementlogistics.com.
All right.
You know, Facebook too, Facebook page, all the same thing, you know.
True.
Yeah. So, but you know, if you really want to get in contact with us, the main thing would be to email us, you know. True. So if you have any questions about it, you know, or maybe see the interview and you're like, hey, I still have some questions about something, or maybe I just need some guidance on where to go, or you know, what do you recommend as a course or whatever it might be, just reach out to us.
All right. No, that's what's up. And we're going to make sure we put the link in the description if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, or we post on Instagram. We'll try to make sure we add the links to the sites and everything. And for those listening on the podcast, obviously you get it audibly, or those on television, we'll have it running at the bottom of the screen for you to check them out. But this has been great. Now, with this business, what kind of, I guess, and this is just off the cuff, so however you want to answer this, fine, but what kind of ceiling, I guess, should people expect? Like, I know, like I've had guys say, it's an owner operator. They're like, well, hey, look, if you're an owner operator, you're driving by yourself, you may be in that neighborhood of 75 to 100 grand, depending on how you drive, or maybe even more if you're really dedicated, or if you're a team driver, y'all can make more if you husband and wife, or they'll say, hey, you get you a couple of trucks. I had one gentleman, he said, Mr. Jimmy, he was ex-Air Force actually. Mr. Jimmy had 2 trucks running, and he's like, look, I get about 100,000 off each truck, and it builds up. Not giving your info, but what kind of, I guess, height or potential would somebody find possibly doing logistics?
That's the question, right? That's the question, right, Micah?
Yeah.
Everybody wants to know, how much money can I make?
Right.
Right. Yeah, hey, that's what I did when I used to work for people. I'm gonna fill out this application, but how much money can I make?
Right, exactly. What's it? They say
how much y'all pay?
WIIFM. They say, what's in it for me or something? Right.
Right. Yeah, no, that's a good question. The good thing about with logistics, especially with what we do with freight brokering, really there is no cap.
Whoa.
There's no cap on it.
Yeah.
It really truly depends on yourself, just like with anything.
Right.
What you put into it is what you're gonna get out of it.
All right.
But there really is no cap. Now the way that things are set up with us, because we're under a freight brokerage, is because they provide the insurance, they provide the licensing, they provide all the platforms that we need to be able to utilize everything, all the systems. So we pay them a percentage. Okay. So there's a set percentage that we pay them, and then everything else is ours.
Awesome.
So we're like Rasha explained, we're happy to pay that percenent.
I know that's right. It must be good.
Just
it was a big headache.
Right. It saves us a big headache, and we thought, coming into this, just to let you know, when we first heard about it and we're like, well, wait a minute, they're going to get 30% of the money and we only get 70%. Like,
right.
Wow, that's a lot of money. Like, why would I pay them this money? But when you really learn the business and the amount of money that you can make, and like I said, the ceiling is as high as you want it to go.
Wow.
You realize that doesn't really affect you,
True.
in the big scheme of things, because what we're paying them, that percentage is well worth it.
Right.
To where we don't have to have that headache or worry about those type of things. So with that being said, getting 70% of everything that we do, once again, it still comes down to what you do, because bottom line is you've got to get customers.
Right.
So you have to go about the different ways, cold calling, whatever it is, emails, different type of things you're sending out, and you're getting customers.
Right.
And so you get customers, but you've also got to make sure that on this side, you get carriers. You got to make sure that you get the truck drivers, the trucking companies that are going to deliver that material for that customer that you have.
Right.
So we're essentially that middle person. And that's what we do, is we connect these two and put them together. Yes. And so, there is no cap. Yes. There really is no cap. We are with a smaller brokerage, and we've got people making all kinds of money. I mean, I'm just being real with you. You can make $1 million doing this if you want to do it.
See, that's awesome.
So it's very lucrative. So. Yeah,
that's what's up. No, I appreciate that. And there's a saying you touched on it, like how they used to say in the hood, like scared money don't make money. You got to pay something to get something out of it. So if you giving 30 and you getting 70, you winning. Do what you got to do. So I appreciate that. That is awesome. All right. Well, guys, I appreciate you for coming on. Everybody that is watching, I'm sure you've learned a lot, and you guys are going to be looking at Major Movement Logistics, their website and everything they have going on. I appreciate it. Is there anything you guys want to say before we close out?
No, just thank you for having us. It's our pleasure to share our information with you, and in any way we can help other people, that's what we strive to do.
Yeah, we appreciate it. We appreciate you letting us, come on. And, like Rasha said, we just love it. Like you said, free game,
yes.
That's what it's all about. And being able to be that platform and being able to give back to other people, and that's what we want to do. So we really appreciate it.
All right, no problem. I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate everyone who is watching right now. Be sure to hit like, share, subscribe, or promote this video so you can help others that may want to get into logistics. This is Jay, Rasha, and Micah signing off. Peace out, everybody.